Shut up and sit down.
Oh, hello and welcome from the North Wales side-by-side video. Right, in today's video, I'm going to make a loo mop for my dad's Yaris hybrid so we can keep the 12-volt battery topped up. And this is the charger I'm going to be using. This is a battery maintenance charger. It only charges at about 2 amps tops. And I've just put it onto a battery now just to show you it in action. It's charging this Bosch battery up at the moment. And that battery's been on for a while. It's at 13.6 volts and it's putting 0.22 amps into the battery. But what I want to do is make an extension loo mop from this connector. I'm going to replace this connector because it's not very good. You can't always guarantee a connection with it. So I've just been out to get some supplies. So in here I've got male and female terminals, male and female plugs, and 10 meters of wire to make an extension cord. So on the end of each of these wires I'm going to put a plug and a plug on here. First I'm going to do the connection on the charger, then I'm going to make the extension loom up, and then I'm going to go to the car and make a loom up with another one of these plugs on off the battery and leave this in the car. So all I've got to do then, once I've terminated the ends of the wire, is plug it into the loom I've put onto the battery in the car, come back, plug it into the charger, plug the charger in, and walk away and forget about the car. So I'm going to start prepping the job now, start building the connectors up, and I'll show you as I'm going along what I'm up to, where I'm up to with the job. So them are the components I'm using. A little Oxford 900 optimizer charger, all them connectors, there's 10 meters of wire. All the connections are going to be soldered. Even though they're crimp connectors, I'm still soldering them. I want a good connection. I want this to be reliable. I want it something that my dad can just plug in and forget about, just not worry about it. Because at the end of the day, it's the charger's going to be plugged into the wall there, and I'm going to have to run the wire across to my dad's car, and that way we can keep his battery charged up on his car, because he's not going to be using the car for a couple of weeks, because dad's actually in hospital at the moment. I took him in for a blood test this morning, and within half an hour of me dropping him off, they've rung me up and said, we're keeping him in. He's going straight to the ward, and we're going to start treatment. So I know he's not going to be in a fit state to use his car, but when he does come out of hospital, which he will, I don't want him to come to a flat battery, so let's get cracking. Right, what I've done here is terminated all my cables off the charger. That's the negative. That's the quick connect plug I'm going to be using. I'm just going to assemble this now, and the connector off the charger is then made, and I've made the first connection onto the extension lead. So I'm just going to assemble that now, and I'll show you when I've finished. So I've made my extension lead with connectors the same on both sides of the extension lead, so it doesn't matter which way round you plug it in. That's the lead that comes off the charger, and that's the lead on the other end of the extension. Now I need to make the loom that I'm going to put on the battery in the Yaris, and then I can plug the car into the charger and I can show you where I put all the cables in the car. I've just checked everything for continuity, and I've got continuity, and I've got all my connectors in the right place, so I'm happy with the extension lead, and I'm happy with these nice connectors that I bought. They're nice brass connectors. They crimp, and they crimp really nice. So I've got enough to finish the job. So I'm going to make a loom up for Dad's car first, because that's the important one. Once I've done Dad's loom, I'm going to actually make one for mine as well. Right, I've gained access to the battery now by taking the cover off, and it's only held on with two little poppers. You've got to pull the centres out, pull them out, and the cover comes off really easy. And to gain access to the terminals, you've got to take the battery connector off down there, the clamp down strap. Negative terminal's easy to get to, and the positive is underneath this red cover. But to get to it, you do have to take the battery clamp out. That cover just lifts up and gives you just enough access to get the 10mm nut off the post. Again, not going to disconnect the battery. I don't want to take the power off the car, just the nut, so I can get the cable on and then start working the wire lengths out and where I'm going to put these cables. So I've got the two leads on the battery now, negative and the positive's done, and I've got the battery reclamped down. You can see the two leads there. I've run them across the top of the battery. I've got them in some shrink wrap tubing. I just need to work out the length of these cables now, where we're going to put the plug, where we're going to hide everything. But first I need to cable tie them two wires to something else and keep everything neat and tidy. And then I can put a plug on the end of the cable and connect the charger up, make sure everything works as it should do. And away we go. Right, so all the wiring's done, battery's reconnected, and I've run the loom all the way round, up the trim, and for now we can tuck it away behind the seat. There is the connector. Here is the other side. You cannot get these cables incorrect because they are keyed. So that'll plug into there. I'm going to go and plug the charger in now before I put the trim back on and just make sure this is going to work. Let's go and plug everything in. Right, I've just plugged the charger in and the lead trails all the way over to the car. I've bought excess so I can hang it up, but there's the reading on the charger, and that is now running at 13.3 volts, and it's putting into the car 0.85 of an amp, and it's telling me that battery's only about 3/4 charged, and it's gone straight onto what they call a bulk charge. So that's my setup for charging 12 volt batteries on these Yarises. an Oxford battery maintainer, a loom I've just made up with 10 metres of wire, and we've made a loom up, nothing's warm, we've made a loom that comes off the positive and the negative, run it round, run it through some heat shrink, zip tied it all off. It's all heat shrinked all the way up, and we're heat shrinked all the way to here. So I'll just leave that there now, all tucked in. I'm just going to close the door on the wire and run the wire somewhere so people don't trip over it or walk into it. So that is the solution for leaving one of these things for a couple of weeks or just parked up over the winter when you're not using it. I think the car might be powered up. No, it isn't. So there you go. I've been promising you this for a long time, and we finally got round to doing it. That's my solution to the 12-volt battery problem. It's really simple. I'm just going to watch the charger for a little bit now, wait for it to go on to maintain, but I'm going to button all the wiring up, and I think we're sorted. Hey, hope you've enjoyed this video, because it's something you can do yourself. It's not a hard job. It really is not hard. Cost me about £8 for all the connectors, the wire, battery charger I already had. You can get them online, motorcycle shops, anything. And if you've got a good electrical store around you, auto electrician, they'll be able to sort you out with these plugs. Just keeps everything neat, tidy, simple, and they're good connections. All this is going to be inside. The only thing that will be outside is the wire. So it's a safe system. Hey, thanks for watching. Right, I'm happy this charger's now working. When I unplug it, I can just tuck the plug out the way behind the seat. It's easily accessible. But we've got a nice easy means of keeping the car trickle charged. I'm just putting the last 2 or 3 bits together, which is the trim in here. I've just got 2 little poppers to put in. Yep. There's one. Second one's down there. You just push them in, push the centres in, and the car's back together. Put the mat back. I'll leave it on charge this afternoon. Unreel the cable. You'll have to adjust the length of wire that you put on yours. I've gone for 10 metres. So I can either do it from the garage, or I can go into the house, put it through the window, do it that way. But we've got plenty of cable. And it's peace of mind. You can now park the cars up, forget about them. Battery can be trickle charged on a permanent basis. It is slowly creeping up in voltage. It's up to 13.4 now. Let me lock the car and see what it drops to, because at the moment there's still a drawer on it. Let's out of interest see what the draw is on the battery now with the car running or powered up. 14.3 volts in the battery now, but the Trickle charger's sensed. This is a very clever charger. It's sensed I've turned the car on whilst it's still plugged in, and it's stopped charging because it doesn't need to. So if we secure the car, car off, door shut, see, all I've done is just lock the car. Charger has now sensed I've powered the car off, and it's gone back to charging the car up. That's how clever these chargers are. They're what they call an intelligent charger. It knew I'd powered that car up, so it turned itself off automatically. Now I've turned the car off and locked it, it's turned back on automatically. So I'm just going to leave that there on the floor for now. I'm going to potter about in the workshop all afternoon, pull the door down, keep warm, and tidy my bench up. Thanks for watching. Right, we're up to 13.7 volts now. It's nearly fully charged. I've got to knock it on the head today because I've got work at 4:30. So I'm not leaving it on charge whilst I'm not here. I'm going to disconnect it now. I'll show you what I'm going to do, how I'm going to unplug it, and where I'm going to tuck the plug and wind all this wire back into the garage and call it quits for today. So if I can unplug it with one hand, which I can't. There we go, it's unplugged. I needed two hands. I'm just going to tuck that there, out the way. Grab the cable, put it in the garage, and job's a good one. So yeah, that's my setup for charging 12-volt battery up on a Yaris when you're going to park it up and leave it. Totally safe if you're using a proper maintenance charger. That is designed to be left connected up. But like I said earlier in the video, I need to sort the cable out. I don't want it trailing across the floor. So it's easily accessible. We could just hook it onto some hooks so you walk under it. It's safer. Please consider liking, clicking, subscribe. All helps the channel. Thank you.